Hi, this is Ike from IkesOutdoors.com. Today we're going to work on tuning our bow a little bit more, and we're going to cover. I'm going to cover 3 different steps that I take to tune my bow. I'm going to paper tune my bow first. I'm going to walk back tune my bow second, and then I'm going to broadhead tune it last. After I broadhead tune it, it should be completely synced up, and everything should be nice and in tune. Now, paper tuning is very simple to do. But a lot of guys, they paper tune it and they stop. I don't think paper tuning is a very good guideline. It lets you know that your bow is set up close, but it doesn't give you the final answer. It's not really the final tune job, I don't think. Most of the time when I get my bow broadhead tuned, it doesn't tear that well. But my arrows perform a lot better when I'm broadhead tuned. So I'm going to show you real quick how to paper tune it, and then we'll do the step back and we'll do the walk back tuning, and then we'll finish it out by doing the broadhead tuning last. I may have to break this video up into 2 or 3 sections, so if I do, be sure to check out the other 2. I want to show you guys how to do this right, and I want to show you how to, I don't want to skip anything by trying to cut it short. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to paper tune our bow. Okay, what I've got here is I've got my paper tuner, and all this is a PVC frame. You can see there's just a frame on the outside here, and I've just got some paper that something that was shipped to me came with, and I just spread it out and do that, taped it up there. But you can use a newspaper or anything you want, anything kind of lightweight that'll tear pretty easy. Use your standard setup that you're going to be using, and I step back about 6 feet and shoot, and I've got a good backstop behind there, so I'm just going to aim for the center of the paper and see what kind of tears we get. You can see here, I don't know if you can see it with the camera or not, but my bow's shooting a perfect bullet hole. You can see where my 3 veins went through there, and so my bow's pretty well tuned. I'm gonna step back, take a couple more shots real quick, and make dang sure that that's right, and then we'll move on. Okay, second one was a nice perfect bullet hole again. So I think our bow's pretty well paper tuned. Okay, so my bow shot 2 perfect bullet holes. I want to talk a little bit about what it would take if it wasn't shooting those bullet holes. Now, one of the most important things when you're paper tuning a bow is your form, your grip on your bow. If you're gripping your bow and you're torquing it, or you're gripping your bow like a baseball bat, you're going to have some problems paper tuning, because that's going to cause your arrow to actually kick and give you a tear. So if your form's bad, you're going to have problems paper tuning a bow like this. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're formed. Now, when it comes to tuning and doing all this stuff, I've had a lot of guys ask me, how do you remember how to do all this? You know, how do you know how to do it? I'll tell you how I do it. I got my handy dandy notebook, and for you guys who have kids, you're going to get that reference. But this is it's just a binder that I've had for years and years and years, and anytime I find any good information on the internet, I've got blueprints of cams and cable setups and measurements and all kinds of stuff in here. And one of the best things that I ever got, I downloaded it right off the internet for free, and it's right here, Easton Arrow Tuning Maintenance Guide. And you can go to Easton's website and you can download this for nothing, and this tells you everything. It's got preliminary bow setup, standard tuning methods, fine tuning, micro tuning, how to assemble arrow shafts, different kinds of knock systems. I mean, this thing has got all kinds of different stuff. And when I first started tuning my own bows and everything, someone told me about this, and I went and printed it out, and it gives you a world of information. So we're going to turn to the paper tuning section, and you can see right here, got a little area, paper tuning arrow test. And it'll show you what you're supposed to do. You know, it'll give you how to set your paper tuner up, and it'll give you what your tear is indicating, what's wrong with your bow. Like this one shows a perfect bullet hole. Nothing's wrong with the bow. So it'll give you, for instance, if you have a tear with a low tear where your arrow goes through and your veins are actually lower, what that's going to look like is you're going to have a circle where your shaft went through, and then you're going to have like an X, a half of an X below that where your veins went through. That means your arrow's kicking down. And if that's the case, then you need to raise your knocking point up. And opposite way, if you're tearing up, then you need to raise your knocking point down. But there's also some other things that can mess things up. If you're tearing low, The only thing it tells you to do is raise your knocking point up, and I found that that's the case. If I'm tearing low, I raise my knocking point up, and it'll put me where I need to be. This is another good way of getting your arrow lined up. That's why when I tune a bow or set a bow up, I get everything close, and that's about as good as I do it. Because once I get it close, this is going to tell me where it's off. If you're tearing high, it gives you a lot of different things to try to take that tear out. You can decrease the bow weight, means your arrow spine might be too weak. You can choose a stiffer arrow shaft. You can move your knocking point. A lot of different things. If you're tearing right, there's some things you can do. You can use a weaker spined arrow. Move your arrow rest slightly back in toward the bow. All kinds of different things, and it gives you what to do if you're a finger shooter, and what to do if you're shooting a mechanical release or any kind of release aid. So that's where I get my information from, and it's going to tell you. It's got 2 or 3 pages in here on what to do, if you're getting a bad tear. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to step back here and we're going to walk through. We're going to do some walk back tuning.
I like good times, good wine, good smoke, and a 5-piece bed. And I can't